Hello and welcome to the Mid-Week Roundup of the Shorthand World Cup. I'm Carl Robinson. Both courses found out the results of the second round today, and for many it was pure elation, but for a few the dream is already over. In the Cup, Team S&D had 10 participants heading into this round, and unfortunately this has been halved. At least the fast strikers got some comfort after getting smashed out of the news test. The standout tie of the first round was the Eliminator, which lived up to its hype as Ellen won by just one outline. I spoke to Ellen earlier today about beating a close friend and looking forward to her next tie against the dangerous Iona.
Bit bittersweet. I think it could have gone either way, and it was so close anyway, just one mark in it. So, to be honest, I don't know, because I'm going to get absolutely annihilated in the next round, I think, because Iona's one of the favourites. So. But at least it keeps me practicing, which is only a good thing.
George the Postman deserves a special mention as he won his first piece of silverware at Sportsbeat by winning the news test. Oh, and in shocking news, he also managed to beat Gregor. George will now play Georgina in the George-Off. Let's hope George's back isn't too sore from carrying Team S&D up to here. Two more successes for Team S&D was wins for Jack Kay and Tom C, who will both face each other in the next round. Tom C had no reason to worry in his last round tie against Josie, and I spoke to him earlier today.
Never in doubt. Yeah. May have fooled a few people by coming out looking quite unconfident and unhappy with everything, but that was all a bluff. I was confident.
And looking ahead to the next round, Jack Kay.
Who? I think it'll be good for him to have a test against a proper opponent, to be honest. Got Austin in the first round, essentially a bye. Hasn't really been challenged, and don't think he's going to be prepared for what I've got to bring against him. He's in for a surprise.
Jack Mr. President Kennedy kept his cool and beat Jenny in the last round, and admits that this next round may be tough.
I was glad to beat Jenny, and especially to dispatch one of the fast trackers. She gave it a lot of chat before the match, and I got one mistake, she got 8, so it wasn't that close in the end. And now we look forward to playing Tom in the next round.
Any thoughts on Tom?
It's going to be tough. I think he's got the home advantage as well, and he said he's picking 110, so he's stepping it up now. But we're guaranteed one of the SMD boys in the next round, hopefully to face George, and I think I'm going to win.
Can Tom C assassinate Mr. President? We'll have to wait and find out. The last win for Team S&D in the Cup was Harry 50 Shades of Grey, who whipped Adam J into submission and will now move on and hopefully dominate Sam Dix in the next round. Unfortunately, Paddy lost in his round to Josh, showing that dark horses are called dark horses for a reason, as they never actually win a competition. While Armel was certainly right in his previous comment that Becky was not a Cupid stunt, as he narrowly lost. Finally, Will Kay will not be bringing shame on the Cup, as he also went out to Sophie. We also learned that Will Kay is terrible at predicting, as he genuinely believed his tie was going to be tight. In the plate, Team S&D had 19 players heading into the draw, and still have an impressive 11 left who could get their hands on that consolation prize that they could maybe eat some sandwiches off. 2 of those successes were courtesy of Dan Ross and Lostin, but they will have to face each other in the next round. Dan Ross was correct in his prediction of his win over Costas, and I asked him whether his win was too easy and what his thoughts are on facing up to Lostin.
I think so, yeah. I think looking across at Costas when he was doing his transcriptions, he left a lot of gaps, so I was confident going into the next round and I'm through, and it was to be expected, really.
Of course, you play Lostin in the next round. Thoughts on that?
Well, Lostin, I've not heard his interview, but I know he's all talk, so I'm not really worried about him. I'm just taking the days easy, not really doing much shorthand, and I'm just looking forward to the win.
I also caught up with Lostin earlier today, and he had this to say on his win over Andy and his matchup against Dan.
It was a formality. I'm just all about the next round now.
Which is against Dan. Any thoughts about the next round with Dan?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's pretty much a microcosm of the Austin against Rikishi feud of 1999, where Stone Cold was run down by the big man. And then Austin came back and opened a can of whoop-ass, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold says so.
Interesting stuff. Deepak won the comical tie against Will B in a very high-scoring affair, and will now play Charlie, who beat Gabrielle with relative ease. Charlie, who had little to say about his round against Gabriel, had this to say about his round against Deepak.
It's another bye, so I'll be in the quarter-final.
A man of very few words. Tom VK won the battle of the left-handers against Simeon and will now play Jay in the next round. Some words of advice from Stephen is not to get distracted by her boobs like he did in the last round. Teddy beat Tom R in the last round and will now play Carl, who somehow went through against Danny. It might have been because he was one of the worst players in the full-timers, but in the plate anything can happen. I think. Aaron also continued in the plate by beating Adam S. At least he will now be able to concentrate on his work experience. And it has been rumoured that Banwell is actually doing Aaron's passages for him. They will face Sam M in the next round. Harry R's luck did change as he beat Will Not, but faces a stern challenge as he faces Faye in the next round. She beat Ben Caldwell, who is now potentially Team SND's best player, out of the competition. Another strong player, Raj, made up for his first round loss by beating Verity, and now faces another girl from the full-timers, Lauren. It's a very similar situation for Matt B, as he beat Alice and his tie will now be against Leela in the next round. Go on the bulge! Ollie obviously was taking the piss as he crashed out to Leela. And perhaps worse news is that the ringleader of SMD, Jens Retaining, lost to Sam M. Jens will now have to be some kind of mascot, but my confidence has certainly been affected by this loss. And that's your midweek roundup. Commiserations if you lost your round, good luck if you're still in the competition, and good luck to anyone taking the exam on Thursday. I certainly will be enjoying the Lion. Join us next time for more from the Shorthand World Cup.